So the fact that Krista, you said that y'all didn't know about it, that's like crazy to me.
I
Growing up.
totally thought it was invented in the 90s.
Black history?
Yeah. I thought it was like something that was invented in the early 90s because that was the first time I ever heard of it was when I was a student at Biola and I was like, Black history? What is that? It sounds like what, for both of your perspectives, you feel like there was an important contribution that Black History Month made to the educational enterprise because of these people wouldn't have otherwise been highlighted or included in the history or literature curriculum. In the beginning, it served a good purpose.
I would say yes. I'm starting to say that Black history is American history. And so if Black history is American history, I think that, yes, these names should also be included. They're important names that help to structure American history. And so, why would we leave these names out? Why would I only promote one side of history? What are your thoughts, Kevin?
It was just, it was part of the culture, right? It didn't seem like it was some big deal or thing you were doing. It was just, a fish in water. We didn't know any different because that was, all we ever known was Black History Month was going to be in February. Or we didn't think we were doing something special or like these names wouldn't be known if we didn't. That just wasn't it. It was just the normal cultural experience. We didn't know anybody wasn't doing Black History Month kind of deal. So the fact that, Krista, you said that y'all didn't do any of this or you didn't even know about it, that's like crazy to me because, like I said, that was just the culture.
I totally thought it was invented in the 90s.
Black history?
Yeah. I thought it was like something that was invented in the early 90s because that was the first time I ever heard of it was when I was a student at Biola and I was like, Black history? What is that? Never heard of this. I totally thought it was invented in the 90s.
Yeah, no, 1915. And then
I'm learning.
Yeah, the president, and I don't remember if
it was Ford.
Might have been Ford
in 76.
Yeah, when he decided to, make it a whole month, and I think it might have been some partnership with like the NAACP that it made it an entire month under his presidency. That's when, but it's been around.
So, what evolution do you think Black History Month has undergone in recent years? Because it doesn't sound completely like what you guys experienced as children. And so I'm wondering what your thoughts are about how it's evolving, even in recent years.
Kind of what I grew up with is kind of the original intent, which was to highlight the achievements of Black people that was not getting mentioned in mainstream media or history books kind of deal. And so from that point, it was a very good thing and it was successful. It had an upbeat feel to it. Today, I don't necessarily feel that Black History Month has an upbeat or uplifting spirit about it. It almost seems like we are made to remember the bad times and the struggle. We can't forget the struggle. It's just not about highlighting achievements. It's about not forgetting the struggle. It seems like it's transitioned to that for me. And it kind of just reinforces the fact that we are other. We're not fully American. We're not fully accepted. We are something that is separate, and we have to constantly remember that and remind ourselves of that. And so that's the feeling I get from Black History Month today, instead of this kind of uplifting time. And it's different because we celebrate other cultures throughout the calendar year. We got Cinco de Mayo, and nobody makes a big deal or think about that. We've got St. Patrick's Day, and nobody makes like, oh, are we celebrating the Irish or anything like that? But with Black History Month, it has a different feel to it. And it is because, I'll play this, I would almost prefer to have a Black Heritage Day where we just kind of had cookouts and wore family reunion t-shirts, right? And we celebrated something, as opposed to almost kind of restirring and rehashing the past and grievances and singing old Negro spirituals. And, it just doesn't have the same feel to it that it used to have. What are your thoughts, Mo?
I agree. I was laughing because he said if we could just wear family reunion t-shirts, we do like some t-shirts. Boy,
I'm saying, like, just celebrate like some
yes.
great aspect of like Black culture. Things that
have a big cookout.
I hear you. I think that growing up, Black history, for me anyway, did include pieces of the struggle. Like, we were always taught about slavery. We always remember slavery. We always sang the Black national anthem. We always remember to talk about Jim Crow and things like that. But it was always so much more than that. We were always encouraged to be more than that. Even if you lived in a nation that didn't like you, or a nation where you were, stolen from your motherlands and brought here, you could still rise above the soil or the ash that you might have come from. Today, I agree with you, Kevin, that it's all focused on the struggle, and that you are constantly in a struggle. Don't forget that they're always going to keep you down. Like, Black history it's like a struggle narrative instead of this overcoming narrative that it once used to be.
That is a great way to put it. Struggle versus overcoming. That's what I was trying to say, is because it used to be very uplifting. And I think because we were kids, they were always trying to inspire us to achieve and to do more and to go out. And now it just seems more about identity. They want people to have a certain pride and identity. And not saying that wasn't a thing back then, but that seems to be the focal point. Not necessarily achievement, not necessarily kind of inspiring. It's simply more so about identity. And I think that the way you put it, struggle versus overcoming, I think is the big key as kind of what really is the difference in the feel between kind of what I grew up with versus the way I feel things now, especially when it's Black History Month and it's like, oh, let's highlight Black Lives Matter.
I was just about to say that.
It's political. It is activist. It's just not the same. It's just not the same.
It's not. Black BLM and the 1619 Project don't represent Black history. Like, it just doesn't.
That wasn't what it looked like when you were growing up.
That wasn't what it looked like when we were growing up. But it also isn't a reflection of Black history. Like, period. Like, Black history is not just a struggle narrative. Like, oh, we need to spend the next 28 days really highlighting Black people because, these are the downtrodden, oppressed, marginalized people who are never going to make it out. Like, so now here, let me throw you a month so that you can feel better about yourself.